According to Elon Musk's biographer, the richest man alive is deeply unwell and going mad. In a post on X, Seth Abramson had this to say about the billionaire. He said, "I legitimately believe Elon Musk may be going mad. I'm a Musk biographer who has been tracking his online behavior for the last 2 years, and given that he's admitted to all of mental illness, heavy drug use, and crippling stress, it is now reasonable to fear he is deeply unwell."
When I look at Elon Musk X feed, I mean, it basically 95% of it sounds like I wrote it.
And an unwell Elon Musk is trouble for all of us, not just here in this country, but around the globe. The more power hungry he gets, the more he cozies up to the world leaders, the more ambitious he becomes, the more unstable our world and reality are.
Where is the George Soros of the right? Where do we find the billionaire who will never give up on the great promise of America? And in walks Elon Musk. So God bless you, Elon, and we're so grateful.
Just to give you a quick example, President-elect Trump is already making wild threats to take the Panama Canal and Greenland by force. That would mean declaring war on 2 longtime and peaceful allies, Panama and Denmark. One of the reasons why he might be inclined to be doing all of this is because the US having control over the canal and Greenland would be better for Elon Musk's businesses. To that point, Abramson continued in his thread, "His private struggles would not be of general concern except they have dramatic public consequences. His holdings across many civilization-essential industries and the fact that he's the incoming POTUS mean that his madness and increasing incitement of violence endanger us all." And this isn't necessarily anything new or anything we haven't seen time and time again throughout history. Whenever power is concentrated within one person or even a few people, every mood swing and every whim could reap disastrous consequences for entire populations. And I'll give you an example. King Henry VIII of England famously had 6 wives. He started the Anglican or Protestant church because the Catholic Pope wouldn't let him divorce his first wife and marry Anne Boleyn. So he left Catholicism and converted all of England to Protestantism. Back then, however, women weren't allowed to inherit wealth or earn their own income. So if they were unable in their youth to marry well, they always knew that they could fall back on a life in the convents. When Henry broke with Catholicism, convents across the country were ransacked and pillaged, and the women living in those convents were left without anywhere to live and with nothing to do, and most of them would have been too old by then to consider marriage as a realistic prospect. Lives across the country were destroyed all because the king felt like doing a thing. Abramson continued his thread by pleading with the outgoing administration to do what they can in the very little time they have left to curb the worst of Elon's impulses. For 14 days more, the administration is in a position to take urgent action to protect America from Elon Musk. That could include ending all U.S. contracts with him, filing lawsuits to block his unconstitutional DOGE initiative, and launching new federal and NatSec investigations. Now, I strongly doubt that the U.S. will just drop Elon's government contracts. Here in Houston, Elon Musk has embedded himself within our space program in a way that has many NASA workers acknowledging him as a bit of a necessary evil. They need his funding and technology to get certain things done, but it creates a very unstable environment within an industry that's already been particularly susceptible to the whims of whatever administration is in office. Going into 2025, there's a fear that he could revoke or reduce government funding for certain space programs in his role as the head of DOGE in an effort to protect his own space-related interests. According to an op-ed in the New York Times, were NASA programs to be cut, there would be fewer opportunities to award more money to a wider group of SpaceX competitors. Slashing spending might also force the agency to hand off more of its operations to already reliable contractors, such as, you guessed it, SpaceX. Abramson also seems less than optimistic that his request to hinder Elon's reach and influence will be granted. He concluded his thread with a warning. If no action is taken, and I suspect no action will be taken, what this man in his burgeoning madness does to America as POTUS in the coming years will be on the heads of not just him and those who support or enable him, but those who ignored urgent, informed warnings like this one. I was just telling someone that I can't believe that these generations, let's say Gens X, Y, and Z, We're raised on superhero stories and villain origin stories, and collectively, we have been so slow to clock Elon Musk and others like him as real-world villains, or if that's a little harsh, as chaos agents. It's textbook, or in this case, it's comic book. Anytime anyone is amassing more and more power and influence with seemingly no ceiling in sight, it should be cause for concern for everyone, everywhere. But as Andy Levy said on the New Abnormal podcast regarding Elon's efforts to infiltrate various governments around the world, nobody is stopping him and nobody's even trying to stop him. From what I can figure out, I haven't seen any calls from anybody in any party here in the United States to maybe take a look at the government contracts he has and to take a look at what an absolute nightmare of a security risk he is. But it's the golden rule. He's got all the gold, so he can make the rules. Classic villain trope. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks.